Warning signs of liver damage. Please don't ignore these signs. I did, and I ended up in a total mess. As you've seen from some of the other videos, I was close to death. Okay, this is not a definitive list, but it's 10 things which I think are the most important. The first one that I noticed, more significantly, was a swollen stomach. Now, I thought initially this was just what they call a beer belly, obviously, but it wasn't, because it was very hard to the touch. And this, I later found out, is called ascites. I know a lot about this now because I was in that hospital for a couple of years with this problem, getting it all drained out, the fluid. It's basically protein and fluid that the liver can't deal with. That's one of the first signs that your liver's damaged, this ascites fluid. Google it, have a look at it, because it's quite important. It's very important. And I also got this spontaneous bacterial peritonitis with it, which is an infection. That was very, very dangerous, which can be fatal. It's fatal in about 50% of people who go into hospital with it. That's the first thing, swollen stomach. The second thing is a tenderness down in the right-hand side of your abdomen, just below the rib cage, which I didn't experience, to be honest with you, but I know for a fact that's quite a common symptom, a common sign, shall we say. The third one, which we'll have all heard about, I imagine, is jaundice. When you basically start to turn yellow, you're looking healthy, your skin turns a yellowish colour and your eyes can go yellow, just in here. You want to look in here, put your eyes around and get into a good mirror. If that's starting to turn yellow, go to the doctor straight away if you feel any of these things, because they're the guys who know, you know, from a medical side, what to look for more than I do. I can tell you a lot about the practical side, what to do, what you shouldn't do, when you should go and see a doctor. But I would say the first protocol has got to be a doctor in all cases, just to be safe. There may be nothing wrong with you. It's for peace of mind, and they're the experts on it at the end of the day. So this jaundice is basically bile that builds up because the liver can't deal with it. The liver can't function properly, really, if you've been drinking for a long time, or even if you've been a binge drinker. So basically, you'll also lose your appetite a bit, which will cause weight loss. That's another noticeable sign. You'll start to have a larger stomach, but you'll be losing muscle mass. That's quite noticeable. Other people have noticed that as well. I went extremely thin. I'm 6'3" and I went down to under 10 stone. That was when it was very nip and tuck, mind. But over time I was losing weight. I had all this fluid in my stomach, but when I got that drained off, I looked like, well, I shut out my former self, to be fair. But that was in the later stage. So if you've got any swollen stomachs, appetite, jaundice, all these things build up. And what tends to happen if you drink, which I did, you tend to put these things off, because you know there's a problem, but you don't want to hear it. So you tend to think, oh, I'll just not go to the doctors, I'll make an appointment. Then gets to the time, you can't be bothered to go there. You can't get there, you're in the pub, something happens, you think, oh, I'll be all right the next day. And all this, it'll be all right the next day, it never happens, because you're not all right the next day, you're worse, aren't you? Your pee when you go for a wee will be very, very yellow or even dark coloured. That's quite a noticeable sign as well. That's caused mainly by dehydration, but also can be issues with the liver. Another thing which is linked to this fluid buildup is something called edema, where fluid builds up in your legs and ankles, and you find a lot of older people have this. If you look at their feet, their ankles are swollen quite a lot. Edema, that's something to look out for as well. Swollen legs, swollen ankles, feeling something, you feel got pain in the bottom of your feet as well. Another big one for me, which I did ignore initially, but I found out later was quite a problem, was itchy skin. You start to scratch more, sometimes you'll bleed. When I was in hospital, this guy, he couldn't stop itching. I had to give him all sorts of ointments and things, but he still kept scratching. Terribly itchy skin. It didn't affect me too badly, but it was definitely noticeable when I look back and I think, yeah, I did have quite itchy skin at the time, you know, really, really strange. You become very tired, physically and mentally. You just can't be bothered with things, if that makes sense. You haven't got the energy. It saps all your energy, because your liver's an extremely important organ. It has about 200 or 300 functions, probably 400 maybe, I don't know exactly. But it filters out all the bad stuff, all the toxins, this sort of thing. So you feel tired all the time. Nausea is another big one. You feel nauseous when you wake up, whether you wake up in the morning, the afternoon or evening. Always feel a bit nauseous, a bit sick, and a bit under the weather, you know. And the 10th one I would say is just a general malaise. Can't be bothered, feeling knackered all the time. Or you can't be, you know, you can't bother to look after yourself. You start to, or your self-care deteriorates, and you don't clean your teeth properly, you're not making meals, you're not tidying your apartment, you're not speaking to people. All you're doing is focusing on this. I must get another drink, I must get some supplies, and all this sort of thing. There's some of the major signs to look out for. If you've got any comments, you want to ask any questions, please get back to me. And as always, subscribe if you enjoy the videos, or you get some benefit from it anyway. And I'll speak to you all soon.